Welcome back, Millgrove! Hello, Millgrove students. I'm Mrs. Madge, your school principal, and I am so happy to be saying welcome and hello to you today. Today you're going to watch a video and it will tell you all about the things that you can expect when you come back to school. We've been working very hard, all the staff, to get ready for you, and we're looking forward to seeing you. I want to introduce you to the people in this office, so come on with me. These are also people that are here to care for you and help you. We have Mrs. Regan.
Hi.
Mrs. Auk. Hello. And I'm sure you recognize them from last year. Now we have someone new that I'd like to introduce you to. This is Mrs. Miners, and she's our assistant principal.
It's so nice to meet you.
So everybody, welcome, enjoy the video. We cannot wait to see you. Bye-bye.
We all know that Millgrove is a school where we truly care for each other, and this year one of the ways that we will care for each other and our community is by being careful to keep each other safe and healthy. When school starts this year, there will be some new things to get used to keep each other safe. When you arrive at Millgrove in the morning, we'll ask you to make your way to your class's entrance. Each entrance will be labeled with the classes that enter through that door. Mrs. Schmaus and Mr. Cherry's classes will be entering through the front door. All kindergarten students and students of Mrs. Reeson and Mrs. Mills will come in through the library doors. If you are a student of Mrs. Vandermeulen, Mr. Wallen, Mrs. Wright, Mrs. Ossinger, Mrs. Byrne, Mrs. Graham, Mrs. Cormenos, Mrs. Constantine, Mrs. Davidson, or Mrs. Taylor, you get to come in your class's own portable door, which will be marked with a sign. The music door by the back park will be for students in Mrs. Gallant's and Mrs. Barker's rooms. If the bell hasn't rung yet in the morning, you can line up at your entrance with your class. You will go outside at recess and home time using the same doors you entered in, and students will leave in stages when the bell rings at home time. We will have 2 different sets of recess times this year, with kindergarten, grade 1 and grade 2 going outside at one set of times, and grade 3 and grade 4 going outside at another. Your teacher will let you know what area your class gets to play in on the different days of the week, so you can stay with your own group of cohort classmates. There are 5 zones that we will take turns playing on different days of the week. The zones are the back park, the front soccer field, the back soccer field and hill, the tarmac, and the front park. Teachers and staff at Millgrove will be wearing masks, especially when they cannot be more than 2 meters away from others. We promise we're still smiling even when our masks are on. If you are a student in grade 4, we ask that you put on your mask before coming into the school, and your teacher will have guidelines about when to take your mask off in the classroom. You are welcome to bring bags or containers to store your clean and used masks in, and if you'd like, you can bring more than one mask for the day if you want to switch them at lunch or snack time. If you are a student in kindergarten to grade 3, you are more than welcome to wear a mask at the school as well. Often we will sanitize our hands when putting on and taking off our masks. Mrs. LeBlanc and Mrs. Ross will be working hard this year to keep the school clean and sanitized, and they've done lots of work over the past few months to make our school a safe place to learn. We will be washing and sanitizing our hands often during the day to keep each other safe, and hand sanitizer will be available throughout the school. If you need to cough or sneeze, make sure not to do that into your hands or the air, but instead into your elbow, and if you feel sick, you will have to stay at home. We won't share food or school supplies at Millgrove this year, but we'll still have lots of fun learning together. Your teacher will let you know the maximum number of students allowed in your bathroom. 2 or 3 students depending on their size, and you can wait on the social distancing spots marked on the floor while you wait to go inside. The hallway floors are marked with arrows so you can remember which side of the hallway to walk on. Not quite, Mr. Cherry. That's much better. Our staff is looking forward to the adventures we'll have in this school year with our principal, Mrs. Madge, and our assistant principal, Mrs. Miners, Millgrove's secretaries, Mrs. Regan and Mrs. Auk, our custodians, Mrs. LeBlanc and Mrs. Ross, Millgrove's music teacher, Mrs. Davies, our librarian, Mrs. Smith, and our community support worker, Mrs. Weisenberger. The LLI team is Mrs. Stiegel and Mrs. Pinner, and our kindergarten students will be led by Mrs. Harley, Mrs. Long, Mrs. Neufeld, and Mrs. Clark. Our grade 1 team has Mr. Cherry, Mrs. Mills, Mrs. Reeson, Mrs. Schmaus, Mrs. Podelic, Mrs. Kwasnicia, and Mrs. Koberstein. In grade 2, we've got Mrs. Ossinger, Mrs. Vandermeulen, Mr. Wallen, Mrs. Wright, Mrs. Sebastian, and Mrs. Everett. And grade 3 has Mrs. Barker, Mrs. Byrne, Mrs. Graham, Mrs. Cormenos, Mrs. Woloshin, Mrs. Sinclair, and Miss Watkins. The grade 4 team is Mrs. Constantine, Mrs. Davidson, Mrs. Gallant, Mrs. Taylor, Mrs. Wilton, Mrs. Fleming, and Mrs. Drynan. We've missed you so much, and we've been waiting months now to welcome you back to school. Even though some things will be different, we're so excited and are counting down until we get to see you.
Yeah.